This is the Surly Grognards for September 30th, 2014. This is Peter Bowman, and as usual, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing all right.
Most excellent. I'm very tired. Did not sleep well last night, got home very late.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
So, this month, effectively, it's technically just before October, but we're going to basically treat this as an October episode. We're going to be doing a month of movies. Talking about movies and shit. Because we came up with a bunch of possible topic ideas. They all had to do with movies, and I said, hey, wait, there's 3 topics there. We had a 4th, and we got a month worth of topics.
Bum, bum, bum.
We have a plan. Be afraid.
It really is vaguely terrifying.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to handle this. It's going to be very strange. We'll have, like...
Poorly. We'll handle it poorly.
Yeah, probably. So what we're going to be talking tonight, I'm starting off well, folks, is we're going to be talking about what movies we've seen recently, because we had a couple other topic, like more themed ideas, but we both wanted to hold off on I wanted to hold off on one of them, Eric wanted to hold off on the other, until we had more time to think about them, so...
Boom. Yeah.
Boom.
And now we're just going to talk about movies we've seen recently.
Which may include some of the... We're not going to tell you what those topics are until later. In fact,
Because we might change our mind. We will probably change our mind.
Possibly. And as usual, we'll be trying to tie this back to applying it to tabletop role-playing games and such, because, movies are a wonderful wealth of ideas for role-playing games and such.
Absolutely.
Not that I ever steal things whole hog from movies. Nope, not me.
Neither you or me.
Or TV shows, or books. Or the newspaper, for that matter.
Yeah, no shit.
Or TV news. You know what I mean. At any rate, so, as usual, I've not seen a lot of movies in the theaters. I don't tend to go to the theaters very often these days. Mostly because it's just stupidly expensive these days.
It is pretty expensive. I'll usually make it out there if there's like a movie I especially want to see,
Right.
or if there's like a blah blah blah, an organized goings.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's I don't see a lot of movies in the theater.
No,
I definitely see a lot more than you do, though.
You do. I used to go to the theaters all the fucking time because I love going to see movies at the theater, especially on a good screen. I really do. But the good screens are a long trip for me from where I live. And there's a decent sort of second-run theater near me, but I prefer going to see ones on like a big screen with good seats and shit.
Yeah.
And that involves basically going into Boston. And I could do that. But it's just a lengthy ride on the bus and then subway for me, so another little minor barrier. That said, well, I've not seen much in the theaters. I have watched a few movies here and there recently, and
movies are awesome. So
I'm a big fan of the movies. As you may have guessed. I'm kind of persnickety about the movies I really a friend of mine and I were once talking about movies, and he commented that it's really interesting that there are movies I basically have sort of 3 categories of movies. They're the movies. They're basically 2 categories I get, like where like I've got the movies I love, the movies I loathe, and then the vast majority of them sort of fall into the meh category.
Yeah, those that were happening at the time when you were doing something else.
Right.
Well, I see a lot of movies that way.
Well, no, it's not even just that I'm doing something else. It's that I watched the movie and I'm like, okay, well, that was okay, but it didn't. I don't. There are a lot of movies I don't end up having strong feelings on, basically.
Yeah.
And usually it's because it's like, okay, that was an okay movie, but wasn't very good, and it didn't have something that really grabbed me in some way to elicit an actual response. And there are plenty of bad movies I adore, unapologetically.
a bad movie that you like, that's okay. That's cool. Everyone likes their bad movies.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are a couple that I adore. Like, there are a couple of very important. Like, the two best examples, three best examples I can think of that are there are three movies that I think are basically fundamentally not good movies, but I still really enjoy. Or and two of them I actually adore. But I've not watched any.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
That movie is awesome. It's also terrible.
I think you can guess one of the other ones.
Buckaroo Banzai, another awesome but terrible movie.
Right. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. And the third one is the one that I have on multiple occasions said I think is the movie that I do like, I do enjoy it, but there are a lot of people who sort of get irritated with me that I don't consider it a good movie.
What movie is that?
That's Highlander.
Oh no, Highlander is a terrible movie. It's a really fun movie, and I really like it, but its structure and pacing is ass.
And there's a lot of bad acting in it too.
It's got Christopher Lambert in it. Of course, it's got bad acting.
Yeah, that's the thing. There are a lot of people.
Clancy Brown makes up for it by being Clancy fucking Brown, but
there are. Oh my God, he's in full devouring the scenery mode in that. But
yeah. It's like watching Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Oh God, that's a terrible movie. But there are a lot of people who think I'm insane for saying that Highlander's not a good movie. I'm like, but it's not. It's just not a good movie. It's fun, but oh my God.
By any objective metric, Highlander is a terrible movie.
I would agree with that.
The editing is poor. The pacing is ass. The acting is uneven as all fuck. The plot borders on nonsensical. But it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely. In
fact, I would say Big Trouble in Little China is a better put together movie.
Oh, it is definitively.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai is not.
I would actually say that Ice Pirates is a better put together movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty damning praise. Granted, I'll much rather I will watch Highlander over Ice Pirates every fucking time.
Well, yes, because Ice Pirates is terrible.
It really, really is.
At any rate, these are not movies we've seen recently.
No.
It's been a while since I've watched any of those, honestly, and I should remedy that. I really should rewatch Buckaroo Banzai and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, you're running a feng shui game. You're kind of smart too.
Yeah, well, especially Big Trouble.
Especially given the amount of weirdness in this particular group.
Yeah, woo boy. We'll touch on the actual feng shui group maybe later on in the show because, wow,
there's a lot of weirdness in this group.
Yeah. At any rate, I guess I could go with the. I've only really seen one to the actual topic of the show tonight.
Right.
There's only one sort of new movie I've seen recently, at all new. I should say at all new, and that would be Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier, or Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think.
Which is a good movie. I really liked that movie a lot.
It is a good spy movie.
I did see that in the theater. That was one of the movies I saw in the theater this summer.
Yeah, that's actually one I did trek down to the Capitol to go watch.
Yeah.
And I did not regret the money I spent on it.
No, it's good. It's a great spy thriller that just happens to have Captain America in it.
I would say it's a good spy thriller that happens to have Captain America in it.
I'm giving it 10% bonus for Cyber Arms. And
no.
Armin fucking Zola.
I will. I think part of that is because I'm more of a buff, more of a spy movie buff than you are.
You are a much bigger spy movie buff than I am. Yes.
Yeah. So it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good spy movie. It has some problems. The action sequences, I felt that the director, the director of the movie, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Crap. But
we've got the internet.
Yeah.
But no. In order to keep things going, no, I entirely see your criticism with the action direction, because it does borrow a bit of the what's the word I'm looking for? Shaky Cam.
Shaky Cam,
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
yeah. They don't. They don't. The director is Joe Johnston. What else has he directed? I'm curious.
Anthony Russo also.
Anthony Russo was one of the. Did he direct it?
Yeah, director is Anthony Russo, Joe Russo.
Joe Johnston is what I'm seeing on IMDb.
That's what I'm seeing on IMDb. I'm looking at Captain America: Winter Soldier, 2014.
Yeah, and director is Anthony Russo. That's a. If you scroll down, oh, that's the first Avenger. I'm sorry, Anthony Russo and Joe Russo. I scrolled down a bit too far and was looking at the first one,
Ah, okay.
which was I honestly think it was a better movie, but I think the first Avenger was a better movie overall.
It's also a much simpler movie.
Yes, it is, and that is not a bad thing.
No, it's certainly not a bad thing. If you could do, but it's very much drawing on. It's a World War II movie.
Yeah.
It just happens to have Captain America in it, and that's something Marvel does a lot. Honestly,
Yes.
it's a classic version of this genre, plus our characters in it. Go. It's not a bad way to do it.
Okay, I just want to mention. I'm sort of looking through IMDb here for what Anthony and Joe Russo have directed before, and this is something of not a huge surprise to me so far. Yeah. Okay, so this looks like it was Anthony Russo's first movie, and Joe has not done a lot of movies. And
Gotcha.
they have not done any action movies, either of them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That was the sort of feeling I got from it, is it felt like the action scenes were a bit sort of amateur. They were shot sort of, it felt like the direction of the action scenes was sort of amateur.
They're drawing very heavily from like the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Ultimate.
Yes, and they were sort of using the shaky cam and the way they were cutting and such to cover up.
I will say that I enjoyed those better than the fight scenes in those movies.
Yes.
Simply because you could track what was going on a lot better.
This sort of shaky cam sort of action scene thing really started with Gladiator, I think. I mean, that was sort of the first big movie that did it.
Yeah, that was the first one that did it that I can remember. And they only did it for one scene that I can remember.
Maybe one or
the
two.
opening scene with against the Visigoths.
It's been a long while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I just remember it driving me batty at the time and ruining my enjoyment of the movie to a large degree.
That was another movie I saw in the theater. I didn't actually watch it, though. Yeah.
I see. Gladiator was a fine movie, but it's overrated.
It is overrated, but that's a fun movie to have in the background, I found.
At any rate, but back to the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That said, there was a lot of really good. I thought it was, the plot was, since it was a spy movie, the plot was a little bit convoluted because it has to be.
Because it's a spy movie.
Right. And I thought Chris Evans was really good.
No, he sold it. Like, holy shit. He was great in that movie.
Scarlett Johansson was also really good.
Yep. I was trying to think of her name, thank you.
Robert Redford was fantastic.
Right. I remember him now. Okay.
Yeah. He was Alexander Pierce.
Yes.
Oh, he was fantastic. And unsurprisingly, Robert Redford was really good in the movie. Go figure.
Shocking.
Sam Jackson was good too. I mean, he's always fun.
Yeah, he's always fun. The only movie I can think of that he was ever bad in was the Star Wars prequels, and that's because he wasn't actually allowed to do much more than read the script in a wooden tone.
Yeah, well, that was sort of the problem for almost everybody in that movie.
Yeah, I blame that on Lucas.
Yeah. At any rate, though, I really enjoyed the movie. It sort of reinforced the sort of pet theory that several people I know have held, and I agree with, that the Marvel movieverse, Nick Fury, is really bad at his job.
He is kind of bad at his job.
Because almost every decision he makes is a terrible one. with the exception of creating the Avengers. That's basically his one really good idea.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, all his ideas, you understand where he's coming from on them. You're like, okay, that makes sense. But they keep going wrong. And it's not always his fault.
In his defense, and a bit of a Nick Fury apologies, the word, he does seem to take a lot of crap from the top.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of his decisions seem to be based around mollifying them, so he can do what needs to be done.
Yes.
So, they just happen to actually make things worse.
Yes, they usually they compound some of his terrible ideas. The helicarrier's idea is just a stupid idea.
It's such a Doctor Doom idea.
It's a
Holy
supervillain
shit.
plan.
Like, seriously, Nick, did you not see that? This is Magneto's plan. This is Doctor Doom's plan. This is Gorilla fucking Grodd's plan. Come on, man. They've all done the similar plans.
It's like, it's like, okay, that's just like, okay, and then on top of that, it's like, and they'll be fully networked together so they can work together. It's like, why are you layering in security security vulnerabilities?
Yeah.
It's like, no, god damn it. Ugh. But despite all of that, it made for a good spy plot, so I'm okay with that. Spy movie plot. I'm like, okay, fine, sure. And Eric's completely right. The whole Armanzola bit in there is amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, just know that Armanzola shows up, and it kicks all the ass.
Exactly. So I had a lot of fun watching that movie, and I'm looking forward to basically whatever Marvel Studios puts out at this point. Because they've just been consistently good.
Yeah, honestly.
They've had a few that are not great. Thor's not a great movie.
Thor's a fun movie, though.
It's fun, but it's not great. The second and third Iron Man movies are...
The second Iron Man movie is enjoyable, but I've got too many problems with it, honestly.
And, I haven't seen Thor 2 yet, so I can't comment on that one.
Thor 2 is a ridiculous amount of fun and is also a terrible movie.
Okay. The Ed Norton Hulk movie was...
I like that movie.
It was okay. My problem with the Ed Norton Hulk... It's interesting. Both the Hulk movies have different things I don't like about them. And I'd say, basically, if you pulled about half the stuff I really liked about Ang Lee's out, and about half the stuff that I liked about the Ed Norton movie out, and smushed them together, you'd actually get a good Hulk movie.
Yeah, you'd have it. Yes. No, I agree entirely.
Because there's a lot of actually, as much crap as the Ang Lee movie gets, it's got some really good stuff in it.
Yes. No, I completely agree. All the stuff with Bruce Banner being Bruce Banner.
Yes, absolutely.
And dealing with Hulkification is gold in the Ang Lee movie.
Yeah,
it's a little too. It occasionally gets a little too maudlin, but he turns into a giant green monster. You can give him a little bit of leeway there.
And all the stuff involving his father was just fucking moronic. And some of it worked, but for the most part, it just wasn't very good. And the whole last 20 minutes of the movie is just complete and utter crap.
Hey, here's a great ending to this movie. Let's go and keep going for another 20 fucking minutes. That's the friggin' AI syndrome.
Yeah.
AI, if you haven't seen it, is a film from the aughts. Steven Spielberg trying to do begins with a K. Kubrick movie. Thank you. And he does a pretty good job of doing it, while still lending his touch to it. And it comes to a perfect ending, and it keeps going for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, that happens.
It completely undoes everything that was interesting about the movie, honestly.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that I've noticed this over time, is that every now and then there are a surprising number of movies that just don't end when they should. Great example of that, honestly, which is another movie I've watched.
Return of the fucking King.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The movie's got like 5 endings.
The false endings of that movie, it's just like, okay, Peter Jackson, stop it. The first fake ending was acceptable and understandable. The second was dumb. The third was just, fuck you. I mean, I know this all happened in the book. I know this. I have read
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
I know Tolkien. I know Tolkien did not know how to end the fucking story. But dude, that does not mean that you don't.
For crying fucking out loud. And yeah, just oh god, again, I'm not going to go on my Lord of the Rings rant right now. Let's suffice it to say that I'm not one of the people who thinks the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies are amazing. Outside of the Fellowship of the Ring, which I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, Fellowship is pretty awesome. I liked them, honestly. I enjoyed.
I understand why people like them, but there's stuff that I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
They also filled a niche that had been largely neglected and starved nigh unto death over the past
that is true.
Several decades.
That is true. But at any rate, we're not talking about, since I don't think either of us has watched them recently. We should probably avoid them for the time being.
Most recent movie I watched that I hadn't seen before recently for a complete change in direction of genres was The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
You hadn't seen that before?
I had not seen that before.
Oh my! You're a huge Terry Gilliam fan.
I know, and somehow it just kept on not happening. And I just finally went, you know what? It's on fucking Netflix. I'm not doing anything this afternoon. I'm fucking watching Baron Munchausen. And holy crap, the movie is fucking hilarious.
Isn't it great?
Yes, holy crap.
That movie is so much fun. And it's so surreal.
It's Terry Gilliam at his best. It's hilarious, surreal, weirdly innocent, while at the same time, like with a fair amount of pathos. Like the whole bit with the Baron getting younger as he adventures, and then sort of going, fuck it, I'll be old. Especially after he gets swallowed by the Leviathan.
Yes.
And like, fuck it. You know what? It's stanking here, but whatever.
It's a wonderful movie, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not, again, it's got flaws, but there's just so much charm and
just so many like great throwaway lines and scenes, like the bit where they're on the wall at the beginning and they're being shelled by the Turkish army, and the Baron turns to one of the soldiers. Shouldn't you do something about silencing those cannons? Don't you think that would be a good idea? No, sir. Well, why not? It's Wednesday. Or it's Tuesday. And it's... I had to pause the movie. I was laughing so hard at that.
There's that undercurrent of, you know, the subversive Monty Python humor all throughout the movie.
Yes.
And it's just as I said though, I think the biggest thing I take from that movie is just the sheer level of there's this wonderful charming feel to the movie, but there's this weird dark undertone to it also.
The movie's a fever dream is what it is.
Yes.
The movie is an enjoyable fever dream,
but
and it's great for it.
Yeah, well, again, there's this dark sort of undertone about which is sort of the whole sort of undertone contrast of the rest of the world in comparison to the Baron.
Yeah,
like, you know, the whole bit where the heroic soldier played by Sting, you know, shows up at the opera.
Yes. Right at the beginning, yeah.
Right.
I'm given to understand that you silenced 20 cannons on your own and slew the enemy commander single-handedly. Yes, sir. Why did you do that? Seemed like the right thing to do at the time, sir. Yes, well, have him executed. We can't have people going around being heroes. Everyone else trying to carry on being a normal, ordinary soldier. What does it say?
It's just that whole bit as a counterpoint to the Baron. It's just perfect. That's just
the sheer mindless dedication to mediocrity and ritual, and the siege of the city.
It's really
on both sides,
right? And it's the wonderful thing about it is it takes that sort of that whole sort of, you know, sort of dark commentary on mediocrity and such. That is the whole theme of Brazil.
Yes,
and
which is another fucking beautiful Terry Gilliam movie. It's one of my favorites. Not just Terry Gilliam, like films in general.
Right, but then it layers this wonderful sort of effervescent charm on top of it.
Yeah, a complete sense of whimsy that in Brazil
is completely lacking.
No, there's whimsy in there, but it just has this air of utter desperation that
Right.
not in Baron Munchausen.
Well, that's the thing. There's no froth in Brazil. It's not a there's no lightheartedness.
Yeah,
There's whimsy, but it's a dark whimsy.
yeah. Like I said, there's a sense of desperation to it.
Yeah, which is why it's a brilliant movie. But
Yeah,
and it might be Gilliam's best, just from a purely objective standpoint.
I think I might agree with that.
I mean, Gilliam is a bizarrely amazing director. He does some really great stuff that's really bizarre.
Yeah. Brazil, the aforementioned Baron Munchausen, which had no idea had friggin' Robin Williams in it
Yes,
as a floating head.
The King of the Moon.
He's friggin' hilarious.
Oh
in
yes,
it.
absolutely. I adore. Oh man, I adore Baron Munchausen. Yeah,
The fact just walking around seducing every attractive woman he sees, whether or not it's a good idea.
right. He also directed Time Bandits, which is another one of my favorites.
It's another great Terry Gilliam movie.
I love Gilliam. Okay, now
That's not to say he hasn't had his misses. The Brothers Grimm, for example, is a good movie, but certainly not one of his strongest.
I've
If you want
not watched that one, honestly.
Mm.
There are several I've not seen because I keep meaning to. Like, I have not seen the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus yet. I keep meaning to.
I have not seen that one yet either. Partially because I did not believe it was a real movie because the name is so fucking ridiculous.
But when you find out it's a Terry Gilliam movie, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's one other one that's really good, but oh my god, it is not like any of his other movies.
What movie is that?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He wrote that.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was him. No, that's totally a Terry Gilliam movie because it just flips things instead of um the whimsy being the whimsy and weirdness being an escape from the real world. It's the other way around
Right.
because Dr. Gonzo and Raoul are so fucked up for the entirety of the movie, and they're so bad at being fucked up that the points of reality are their anchor points and their escape from their own hallucinations.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why the movie is so
Yeah,
great.
so Gilliam wrote the screenplay for it. I mean, it's just, it's Hunter S. Thompson. I mean,
Yeah.
Gilliam also directed some other greats.
12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys and The Fisher King.
Yeah, both of those are great movies.
I would say
And,
12 Monkeys is 12 Monkeys is the one that gives what's Brazil a run, the biggest run for its money, I'd say.
Yeah.
And it might
It was also the one that showed me that Brad Pitt knows how to fucking act as long as he's got a director willing to kick his ass. But yeah, the Terry Gilliam's fucking amazing.
yeah, absolutely.
I wait for bated breath for the Cursed Man of La Mancha to actually get made.
The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Yeah, that movie is.
It is in pre-production right now, so
It's been in pre-production for the past 20 years.
I know.
It keeps on. That movie is cursed.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's see other movies that we've seen recently. Because we could go on about Terry Gilliam for a while, probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
we could do that.
like
forever.
all his work with Monty Python, because
Yeah,
fucking Monty Python's amazing.
yeah. The most recent movie I've seen from this year was Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have not seen that yet. I did not trek down to the theaters to see that. I meant
You are going to love that movie, or you are going to hate it. I
Oh
think you'll really like
God!
it.
My problem is that right now it's sort of entering Matrix territory for me, in that I'm terrified that it cannot live up to the hype I'm getting for it.
Okay, then
Which is
yeah.
one of those, it's like because the Matrix was I unlike the Matrix I knew it was out. I
Right.
just didn't hear about the Matrix until it was basically out of the theaters, and then everyone was going on and on about how
on and on about it. No,
and then I was like,
here's the thing: the hype is definitely a disservice to it. It's not the best thing ever.
Right.
I think part of it is no one expected it to be as good as it was. Because,
And-
except for me, because I was like, It's fucking Rocket Raccoon and Groot. Who doesn't love those guys? I'll tell you who. Terrorists. But, yeah.
Well, on the plus side, it's still playing at the Capitol.
See if you can't drag yourself down and go see it.
I'll try to, but I can't. I don't know when I'll actually have the energy to do that. But at any rate, also I have things I do have to do. But yeah, the original. Back to my point about the Matrix. When after it came out, everybody I knew was going on and on about how it was the best sci-fi movie ever. And all this stuff because it was so. And the thing is, it was revolutionary when it came out. There's no question about that. The Wachowski brothers did something just.
The Matrix is a great movie, and it deserves a lot of the praise it gets. Not all of it, because it was revolutionary. It's been monstrously influential.
Yes.
For good or ill.
Now, I will say this. A lot of what was revolutionary about it is stuff that I was already used to seeing, because I've watched a lot of Hong Kong cinema.
Mm. Oh yeah, the bullet time and whatnot.
Bullet time, the wire work. I'm like, okay, this is not new to me.
It was. I had never seen it done with such production values. Is the difference for me?
But but
for me, it was also the best cyberpunk movie that wasn't Blade Runner that I've ever seen.
That I can buy. But yeah, so people are going on about how amazing it was. I'm like, okay, there's no conceivable way it can live up to this hype. So I basically said, I'm not going to watch it for a while. It's just that I can give it time to die down, so I actually can give it a fair shot.
Mm.
And I had a bunch of my friends who just could not understand why I was doing that. They're like, what do you mean you're not going to watch it? I need to give it time. And some people got it when I explained it to them in detail, but and some people just didn't. And then I eventually, about a year and a half later, after it was out in DVD and video, I watched it and I said, "Oh, that was a fun movie." I'm really glad I didn't watch it then, because I would have ended up hating it because it just I
would not have lived up to the hype.
Not even close, because it didn't.
And then the sequels happened. I still went to see it in the theater because
I did too, and I regret it.
Yeah.
Although the second one wasn't terrible.
Second one was.
The second one had
suffered from middle movie syndrome without willing to commit to being the middle movie.
It was better than the third one.
The third movie was
bad. That was not a good movie.
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't even particularly.
There's a lot of
fun.
things I didn't like about that movie, but And here's the thing: a lot of the things about those movies, I could have forgiven them. I could have forgiven if they're the only thing wrong with that movie.
Right.
Was all of them all together. And
the thing for me is the thing I really liked about The Matrix when I watched it was a wonderful, brilliantly done, self-contained story that didn't need anything done after.
No, it didn't need any sequels. But and obviously it wasn't written as sequels.
Right.
With sequels in mind, it was just like, let's do an awesome, fun movie.
Because that bit, the final shot in that thing where Neo is basically telling the audience that it's time for you to break out of the Matrix. That is brilliant. It's a brilliant sort of device to sort of end the story on. It's like, wow, that's great. Well done. You've given it a conclusive ending. And the audience can have sort of their own views of where the story could go from there. And if you ever do another movie, you're going to ruin that. And they did. It's exactly what happened. The Animatrix stuff was kind of cool.
Mm.
But, it just...
I actually really like the Animatrix, simply because it explored the world.
Yeah.
They had set up. It was other people playing in the same world. And I'm always in favor of that, because they can show... oftentimes they'll show different aspects of it.
Right.
That even the creators hadn't thought of it. And then you sometimes get the majority of the Star Wars Extended Universe, which is...
Yes. Which is no longer canon, thankfully, most of it.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Oh, God, I'm just remembering one of the movies that back to our point where the whole bit where movies not knowing when to end. One of the movies I actually did rewatch recently because I was just in the mood for it. And I would not call it a great movie, but it's one of my favorite movies from the period when it came out, just because it was just unrelenting amounts of fun. Though they did screw up the ending.
Mm.
Was the remake of Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
The one with Brad Pitt, George
Yep.
Clooney, uh, Matt Damon, etc. etc.
Yeah, that was actually pretty damn good.
It was a lot of fun. I adore that movie. It's a wonderfully fun heist movie. I love heist movies. I'm actually going to be going through all three of the ones that came out about the same time soon. So I watch Ocean's 11, then I'm going to watch The Score, and then I'll watch The Heist. Um, Three very different heist movies, all of which I adore. But Ocean's 11 is just this wonderful sort of. It's fun. It's just got this sort of just wonderful sort of. The soundtrack's really good. It just works perfectly for the movie. I actually bought the soundtrack for it because I enjoyed it that much during the movie,
Nice.
which is not something I do very often. And uh, it's just got this. Like I said, it's just got this wonderful sense of like the everyone involved in the movie were having a blast,
Yeah.
and it's just like I love that, and and the acting was not like super amazing, but it was good. And again, it's just one of my. But it does have the problem that they have literally the perfect ending to the movie. Right? There's this scene. The end of the movie happens. Like the heist goes off, etc. George Clooney's character Danny Ocean is arrested, but he's going to be getting out soon. He's going to get out in a
Right.
short period of time. And then it goes to the rest of the crew standing in front of the Bellagio Hotel in front of the fountains while Claire de Lune plays this wonderful classical piece, watching the fountains sort of going up and down. And they slowly, each individually sort of like look at each other and then slowly start turning and walking away and just sort of disperse. And it's like, that is the perfect ending. I was watching it there, like, perfect ending, well done, excellent, and it fades to black, and then the words come up 6 months later. I'm like, fuck! Because they had to show the scene where Brad Pitt goes to pick up Danny at the jail to get him out of jail and such, and
Right.
they drive off, and then it's just like, oh god, you just
Why would you do that? Because
I, because they wanted to set up the sequels,
yeah.
and they did, and I wish they hadn't. Well, Ocean's 12 was not good at all.
I haven't seen the sequels.
Ocean's 13 is actually fun. It's nowhere near as good as Ocean's 11, but it's like the people involved remembered why Ocean's 11 was fun.
Ah, gotcha.
And Ocean's 12 was just sort of like, it's like, okay, no, this is, it just felt sort of, bloated and self-indulgent.
Unnecessary.
It felt
Right.
self-indulgent, really.
Mm.
Right. Foxpaws in the chat mentions that the last person to leave the fountain is Saul. He's the old guy in the group who turned to walk away, and because it's his last heist due to his age. It's supposed to be his last heist because he's really old, and it's like, oh, it's just such a perfect ending to the movie. I don't understand why. Damn you, Soderbergh! You're normally so good at this sort of thing. I love that movie. I really, really love that movie. It's again not from an objective standpoint. It's not great, but oh my god, it's fun, and it makes me happy.
That's some of the best parts about movies is when they're fun. I mean, not all great movies are fun.
No.
Like friggin' Requiem for a Dream. That's an amazing movie. I never want to see it again.
No, 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 never again. Once was plenty. Oh god, I was a wreck after that.
Yeah, no shit.
Leaving Las Vegas, similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh god, that movie just oh god. Almost anything directed by Ingmar Bergman. I mean,
Yeah.
God, he's good, but oh man, his movies are so just bleak. He's good.
Friggin' Grave of Fireflies is
Oh
another
my
one
god,
that's like,
yes.
yeah, I don't need to ever see this again. Great movie. Well done, guys. Never gonna see this again.
Nope, 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 nope. I do not regret watching it, but wow. So what else have you been watching?
So yeah, Baron Munchausen, Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw Brave recently, actually.
Ooh,
Finally got around to seeing Brave. I could see why it got pseudo-panned,
Yeah.
because it it suffered from being a Pixar movie. If it had been any other studio, people would have lauded massive amounts of praise on it.
Right, but it has such a pedigree to live up to.
Exactly, it was a Pixar movie, and it can only
And when it came out, that meant a lot.
yes, and yeah, that movie it's a great movie. It's a great movie about like a mother and daughter reconnecting, and there's a bear. Bears are awesome.
It's I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's got some really good parts to it.
Yes,
As always, it's wonderfully animated.
they do yeah, Pixar and their whole like visual storytelling thing is just holy crap. They're really good at it. Like that one scene where Mirda it goes out in the archery range and like bursts out of her restricting dress to pull back the bow. That pretty much tells you that one scene tells you everything you need to know about her.
Yeah.
Even that one scene, those like 4 frames tells you everything you need to know about her.
It's really clever.
Yeah, really well done.
I actually recently rewatched a Pixar movie too. Actually,
Oh yeah, which one?
The Incredibles.
Of course.
Oh my god.
And The Incredibles is another great spy movie that happens to have superheroes in it.
Yep. I love that movie to pieces. The voice acting is just so good across the board.
Yeah, it's spot on.
The animation's
seriously.
great. It's really well written. Brad Bird is just fantastic. I love him.
Yeah, it's
He is
it's
directed.
one of my favorite Pixar movies.
It's tough to say.
I don't know if it's better than Wall-E, but it's really fucking good.
I liked it better than Wall-E. I thought Wall-E was a little too overwrought.
I can see that. For me, with Wall-E, it's mostly just the first half of it, where there's zero dialogue.
Yeah, well, that's brilliant.
That's Pixar doing what they do best, and it's great.
But I don't get me wrong. I do like Wall-E, but I would definitely say I prefer The Incredibles. You can make. I'm willing to accept any cases for any 3 of the Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
You want to make a case for one of them? I'm not going to say you're wrong. I prefer The Incredibles, but I completely understand choices on the
On the Toy Story. Yeah, Toy Story 3 was all the Toy Story movies really.
Yeah, and Ratatouille is also really good.
Yeah, Ratatouille. Finding Nemo's one that gets a lot of love that I don't really think deserves to be in the pantheon of best.
It's the
movies.
weakest of the really good ones, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I love
It's
that
a good movie. It's a great movie. It's a Pixar movie from their heyday.
Yep.
But I would say it's probably their weakest from
the upper echelon. Yeah.
yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. Although, and again, it's really good. It's just in comparison to, I don't think it's as good as the Toy Story movies. It's not as good as The Incredibles. It's not as good as Ratatouille. It's nowhere near as good as Up.
Yeah.
Which might be the best one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's like, oh, how do we forget Up? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Up's kind of
amazing.
Yeah. Up. Yeah, it kind of hits everything exactly the right places.
I mean, if you don't tear up a bit during that bit,
the opening bit, yeah,
you have no soul. I'm sorry. That is one of the most just beautifully moving bits of animated movie I've ever. I mean, it's up there, just one of the most beautifully moving bits of.
You don't at least mentally go "daw" when the dog comes out from under the porch and goes, "I hid under the porch because I love you."
Doug is great.
Yeah.
It's just Oh, and Fox Paws is right. Dory from In Finding Nemo is probably the reason that movie is beloved.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing. The thing about it is, Ellen DeGeneres. It reminded me that, oh my god, that's right. Ellen is really, really funny.
Yeah.
And she's just good at what she does. It's like, and it's just like, oh right. And all her successes as a daytime talk show host is just completely understandable when you're like, right? She's just
good at her job.
She's fun and charming and likable.
Yeah.
And Dory's just but But yeah, oh god, but yeah, back to the Incredibles though. It's just like at the time when it came out, it was definitively, I think, the best superhero movie made at the time.
At the time, yeah, I would agree with that.
And
Oh,
for me, it's
well, that or Spider-Man 2. I really love Spider-Man 2. I know.
it blows Spider-Man 2 out of the water for me. It's not even close. Spider-Man 2. It's not just.
I know you've got problems with the whole Terry Maguire thing.
Tobey Maguire's. I don't like him. He's not a bad actor. It's just I don't like him in those movies.
Yeah,
And it's
I
got
find
some
he's
other
better-
flaws.
Yeah,
It's got
he's
some.
a much better Peter Parker than he is a Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's got the big thing is Alfred Molina is just it turns into tour de force as Doctor
Yeah,
Octopus.
like friggin' Doctor Octopus just rocks that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
easily the best supervillain portrayal.
to that date, yeah, I'd agree. With
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying to think of. There's Loki.
That's why I said to that date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was trying to think of someone better, and I was like, oh yeah, Loki.
Tom Hiddleston's Loki is amazing.
Yeah.
he's
He
probably
pushes
the
a
best
very
part of the
button, so-
Avengers.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's saying something. I think The Incredibles might edge out the Avengers for me as the best superhero movie I've seen at this point, but not by a ton. Although I could also see a really good case being made for the first Avenger, Captain America: The First Avenger, because that's just so good.
I gotta give it to the Avengers simply because it was a true ensemble, and those are really hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's a lot of things I love about the Avengers movie, but I think it suffers a little bit from. I think The Incredibles has just a tighter plot.
Yeah,
And I think the thing is, The Incredibles is a better movie, I think, overall. Just because it's got a tighter story, it's more consistent. There's less stupid stuff to explain away, which you have to do a little bit in the Avengers.
Joss Whedon movie, you say?
Yes. That said, I don't get me wrong. I again love the Avengers, love it to pieces.
Yeah, we're basically arguing. We're basically nitpicking.
Oh, this is complete nitpicking.
'Cause the Avengers is just. I remember when the Avengers came out, and I read the review in the New York Times, and I was like, "Do you guys just not know how to have fun?"
Maybe.
And then after reading a few other reviews by the same guy, I came to the conclusion: no, he does not know how to have fun.
There are a lot of movies that I do not understand the ratings of, that I've seen, reviews of. I remember seeing reviews for The Princess Bride that were late. It was 2.5 stars out of 5. This movie was sort of okay. It's like going, did you watch the same movie I watched?
Did you watch the same movie? Like, seriously. There are people out there that had the same problem you did, and they got hyped all the fuck off, and they're like, this does not live up to the hype.
Sure, but this is the first reviews of the movie.
Okay.
This is right when it came out. It's like, wait, what? I mean, it's not like it's not a cinematic masterpiece, but oh my god, it's just what? Oh.
It's a great movie. It's one of the most quotable movies I've ever seen.
It's written by one of the greatest American living screenwriters. It's William Goldman, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I've carried on entire conversations with nothing but Princess Bride quotes from both sides.
Yeah. At any rate, yeah, I mean, it's... Oh, man. I love movies. It's just talk about... So, anything else you've seen recently, Eric? Or do you want me to go to my next one?
Not that I hadn't seen before. I've seen several movies that I've seen before.
Well, I've been... Most of what I've seen is stuff... I've been rewatches. I've not seen a lot of movies I hadn't seen.
I rewatched Star Trek 6 recently, and it reminded me how much I love that movie.
That's a lot of fun.
That's a great, fun movie. I mean, it's no Wrath of Khan, but blows the piss out of every other Star Trek movie.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan and Undiscovered Country are probably the two best Star Trek movies. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. And it's just... General Chang's probably the best villain that's not Ricardo Montalban. And he's... Yeah. Watching him oscillate between devouring scenery and just... cool, calm, and dangerous.
It's really good. I mean, Search for Spock was all right, and
Search for Spock was yeah, it was a whole lot of okay. The motionless picture I despise for its misunderstanding of the use of special effects and its glacial pacing.
Oh my god, the pacing.
Hey, I know. Let's remake 2001 in Star Trek, but not attack any of the similar themes or to any degree of this of depth, of the same amount of depth. I mean,
It's
I hate Star Trek the motion picture.
it's not good. It's really
It's a
really
terrible.
not good.
I know a lot. I know a lot of people really love it, but it's my least favorite Star Trek movie.
I will
I
watch
like it even less than Nemesis.
I will watch
Because
that.
Nemesis, I can at least turn my brain off and laugh at.
Oh, sure. No, I'll agree with you on that entirely, but it's still better than the fifth movie.
I keep on forgetting that one exists.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Because I knew it was actually kicked out of canon.
Yeah. Nope, this never happened. Disavowed. Oh, that movie is so bad.
At least it had a good line, unlike the motionless picture.
Yeah. That just makes it worse, because it throws everything else into sharp relief.
Yeah, I suppose so.
What does God need for the starship?
Bzorch. You never answered his question. What do you need with a starship? Bzorch.
Alright, so the last movie I've rewatched recently is one of my all-time favorite movies. I decided that I wanted to spend 3 hours watching this because it's long, and it is one of my favorite movies, and it's one of the most influential movies. It's a really influential movie, also, and it's directed by one of my favorite directors of all time.
Okay.
Can you guess what it is?
No, actually.
All right, it's long. It's shot in black and white.
The Maltese Falcon. That's not 3 hours long.
No, it's not. You're wrong. That's not that influential.
Pretty fucking influential.
Yeah,
But
it is. Okay, I'll put it this way. It's been remade about 20 bazillion different times.
Dracula is not 3 hours long.
Okay, it's been remade into different movies a bazillion times.
Oh, okay.
That are still based on the same. That are still the same story.
Friggin' not Six String Samurai, fucking Seven Samurai.
Very good.
There's a number in a samurai.
Very good, Eric. The Seven Samurai. Yes. That movie has been remade.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
It is. Akira Kurosawa was one of my all-time favorite directors. He's a genius. He was a genius. I mean, that's. And it is. I adore that movie for the performances, the acting performances. Toshiro Mifune was as always amazing.
Yes.
And it's just this wonder. It's a great story. It's the thing about it is, the thing I adore about the Seven Samurai is that when it was released in the States, there's this little segment on. It was released in the States, and a bunch of influential actors and people in Hollywood all saw this, and they were all like, "Oh my god, this is fantastic! We should adapt this into a Western."
Yes.
And they made The Magnificent Seven. The best part about that is that The Seven Samurai, when Kurosawa wrote it, what he was intending to do was he was trying to make a Western set in feudal Japan.
Mm.
So of course it adapts into a Western brilliantly.
Remember a little over a decade ago, back when your movie still existed,
Yep.
and Overused Village, which is also gone now.
Yep.
But I walked into Kamikaze, which is a comic book shop that used to be there, which dealt less with comic books and more with wacky novelties and tchotchkes and old action figures.
Right.
I love action figures.
I know you do.
There were two guys talking in there, and this one guy was talking about how great old samurai movies are, and his friend was like, "Yeah, and you should probably check out The Good and Bad, the Ugly if you liked Yojimbo." And it's like, why the hell would I watch a western? Those movies aren't anything like that. I should have sort of just stopped, turned to him and went, the amount of cross pollination between westerns and samurai movies is ridiculous. Seven Samurai is a cowboy movie in feudal Japan. Magnificent Seven is Seven Samurai in the West. Just, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here and look at your vintage Transformers.
Yeah, or if you like Yojimbo, you should watch Fistful of Dollars because that's
Yes.
Yojimbo,
It's your Jimbo.
starring Clint Eastwood.
And a few dollars more. The unnecessary sequel.
A few dollars more. I don't remember if that's actually a remake of the actual sequel to Yojimbo, which is Sanjuro.
Actually, it might be.
I don't.
It's been a long
I've-
ass
yeah, it's
time
been
since
a
I've seen either of them.
It's been forever since I've seen it for a few dollars more. I've seen Sanjuro more recently.
Yeah.
Of course, Yojimbo has been remade twice now.
Yeah.
Last Man Standing, starring Bruce Willis,
Yeah. Yeah, that was totally...
which is actually a good movie. It's actually because it's a great story. The problem is it's been done before twice better. Okay, it's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie.
And just about every anime needs to do their one Yojimbo movie episode.
Yeah.
The one that blatantly rips it off so much that they actually mentioned the name of the movie several times is Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
Which is totally just a great Yojimbo ripoff, and they do it shamelessly. It's great.
the number of times the Seven Samurai has been remade in various formats. I mean, it's been remade as a movie. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Because, again, there's as we mentioned.
Battle Beyond the Stars by Corman.
Yeah, that would be one of them.
It is not a good movie, but it does have a spaceship with boobs.
But the basic core of the story is actually really solid because it's the Seven Samurai.
Exactly. And spaceship with boobs.
Yeah, well, yeah. There was an episode
of the absurdity of it.
There was an episode of Kung Fu: The Legend Continues that was the Seven Samurai.
Right.
That was not a good show. Which is unfortunate because the original Kung Fu was a fun show.
And it did have David Carradine, who was awesome. I say awesome in that not necessarily good or cool, but always enjoyable kind of way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, as an aside, if you for our listeners, if you have not seen Seven Samurai, and you should watch it, track it down. Set aside 3 hours to watch it. It's completely worth it.
It's there's a reason why it's like considered one of the cornerstones of modern cinema. And it's not like it's not like being forced to read the classics in school.
Right.
Honestly. It's not like having to read friggin' The Scarlet fucking Letter, which is a terrible, terrible book. Being told that it's good. Seven Samurai is actually good.
Yes. So, yeah, I think that's it for movies that we've watched recently.
Yeah. I mean, there are more I could do because I have a tendency to have movies on in the background. I'm doing other stuff.
Right.
But we've also been going on for an hour.
Foxpaw in the chat mentions that Foxpaw's in the chat mentions that Topics Western Samurai came up and they're watching Unforgiven right now.
I like Unforgiven.
It's a good Western.
That's a good movie.
Actually, I just remember there was another movie I watched. I watched a really bad Western fairly recently because it was on TV and I was flipping channels, and I got sucked into something that is terrible.
What movie is this?
The Quick and the Dead.
That movie is such a fucking guilty pleasure for me.
It's so bad.
I can't even chalk it up to the to it like hitting all the tropes I love, like friggin' Doomsday. It's a terrible movie that I love to death.
Right.
But like, yeah, I don't know what it is about Quick and the Dead that makes it so fucking watchable, because it's not good.
I can tell you what it is. Gina Davis is actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe is not. And Gene Hackman is wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderfully
Gene
evil.
Hackman just oozes oil and disgustingness.
But oh my god, the ending. I had not seen the movie before. That's why I sat there and I'm I started watching it like, hey, how are they gonna?
Everything explodes.
And then I'm going to spoil the ending because it doesn't.
It's an old ass movie and it's not good, but
At the end, Gina Davis kills Gene Hackman, and so she shoots him once, and you see the bullet hole through his chest.
yes,
And he looks.
yes, and he sees it in his shadow. He sees the hole, and he's like, "What?" I remember seeing it the first time, going, "What?"
Now I will say this: if he'd seen seen it in his shadow and then dropped dead right there, I have been okay with that. It'd been a cool, sort of artsy sort of end to the movie. Okay, I kind of dig that. But then she shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
Oh, Fox Paul's right. It's Sharon Stone, not Gina Davis. Gina Davis would have made the movie better. Because Gina Davis
They're all bipedal, carbon-based life forms.
Gina Davis is actually a really good actress.
I'm terrible with that, with actors and actresses' names.
Fair enough. But yeah, she shoots him in the head, and then she's out for revenge because Hackman killed her father, who was the marshal, etc. She still got his marshal's star, and then she basically throws her marshal's star because people in the town was sort of starting to think she might be able to some people didn't think she might be able to save them.
New marshal, right?
And I was like, but that's I'm not asking her to be the new marshal because, duh, apparently I don't. But she throws the star to Russell Crowe's character and then rides off into the sunset. Because
it's a Western.
Yeah. Yes, Fox Files does mention the final sort of, confrontation between the two of them with the line when they're about to have their fight. You're not fast enough for me. Today I am.
Right, yeah.
That's actually
it's
a great badass line.
And then she blows up the town.
Yes, because she actually had a plan. Of course, how you're actually saving the town from Gene Hackman by blowing
that was
it
never her goal.
No, but yeah. Well, the tombstone's at least good. Foxbone's like, thanks guys, no, I'm unforgiving, I'm turning on Quick and the Dead, and after that, Tombstone.
Tombstone's great. Yeah,
Tombstone's really good.
A lot of fun.
I got two guns, one of them for each of you. Oh,
yeah.
God. Doc Holliday's so great in that.
Yes.
Val Kilmer is so good as Doc Holliday in that.
You don't know what you're doing. I've got a lot of friends. I don't. That's a great moment.
Oh God, I love that movie. It's so good.
It's a great movie.
That's the thing, is there are
That's a really, really good movie. That doesn't feel like 3 hours long.
No. There's a surprising number of good westerns, actually, now that I start thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why the genre dominated for so long.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really good, really old ones, too. High Noon is amazing.
Yeah.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is really solid.
I haven't seen that one.
It's really interesting, actually. I'd recommend watching it.
The original True Grit is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. I've heard the remake's actually pretty good, too.
I haven't seen the remake.
Me neither.
And
I've
heard it's really good. And I'm like, why bother remaking True Grit? It's a great movie all on its own. But
because
I'll eventually get around to watching
because Jeff Bridges.
Because Jeff Bridges. And yeah, okay, Jeff Bridges.
Let's see. 310 to Yuma, both versions.
Yeah, both versions are pretty fucking solid.
Yeah. We mentioned The Unforgiven earlier.
Wow, those are really good movies.
Yeah.
Both 10 to Yumas are really good. And Russell Crowe can actually act in that one.
Yeah.
He's great as the bounty, basically. The prisoner. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. There's just a lot of really. There's another older Western I'm trying to remember the name of that I really loved. All the Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns are fun. They're not great cinema, but they're a lot of fun.
That's all you really need.
Yeah. I'm forgetting one that I really like, and I'm blanking on it. Damn it. But yeah, Silverado is a really fun Western comedy.
Oh yeah, Silverado, yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Very silly, but a lot of fun.
Shane.
Oh my God, Shane, yes.
Shane's a great movie.
I'd say
Holy crap!
that might be my favorite of the Duke's movies.
Yeah. Also because friggin' season 2 of Avatar does an episode that's basically just Shane.
Yep. Yeah, and the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is
The
amazing.
more depressing ending.
Well, yes. And the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is one of the
Yeah,
all-time
it's a
classic
classic.
spaghetti
That's a
westerns.
great one. That one doesn't really bear mentioning because, of course, you've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Why haven't you seen that movie? You at least know the song.
Yeah. And I'm not. I'm trying to decide whether I classify it as a western. Yeah, it's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
Yeah, that's a western because it's got all the western tropes plus some more stuff.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really really good. Paul Newman and Robert Redford, amazing together.
Yeah.
Huh? That never happens again, except in The Sting and a few other times. If you've not watched either of those two movies, watch them. They're both really good. Oh, There's I have not rewatched it, and I'm going to rewatch it because I just remembered it because I might rewatch that tonight. I'm just going to mention this. If you have not seen The Hustler, watch it. It is a Paul Newman movie. He is playing a pool shark, the pool shark Fast Eddie, and it is amazing.
Sounds really familiar. I've probably seen it, but it's just not ringing any bells right now. I'll probably start rewatching and go, "Oh yeah!"
It's an amazing movie. It ends with a really big important a big pool match between him and Minnesota Fats, played by Jackie Gleason.
Yes. I remember this movie, and yes, it's very good.
So I would recommend to everybody watching that. So before we wrap things up, is there anything from the movies we've been talking about that you want to you think you want to draw sort of stuff into gaming though? Because I do want to tie it back into that before we go.
I have no idea how to make Baron Munchausen into a game. Simply because unless you know what, Baron Munchausen would make a great Feng Shui game.
There's actually a Baron Munchausen game. Actually, it exists.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Is it all about telling more and more outrageous lies?
Yes, it is.
Then that sounds like an awesome game.
It's really, from what I've not played it, but I've read through the book, and everything I've heard about it is it's really clever and a lot of fun. I don't know if it's still in print.
But yeah, pretty much everything we've mentioned, like, steal characters from these.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of
steal
really,
them.
really memorable characters. And that's the big thing. One of the biggest things you can get. There are two big things you can get from movies, honestly, in my opinion. As a player, there's a wealth of ideas for character concepts that you can adapt into different things. I mean, just the ways that the Seven Samurai has been remade across genres just shows how you can take certain character tropes and adapt them into different genres in different ways.
Yes, absolutely.
And like the big difference between, oh god, okay, I gotta look up the Toshiro Mifune's I'm totally a samurai, not a I'm totally a Ronin samurai, totally not a peasant who's taken up a sword character.
Oh yeah.
Is the character equivalent in the Magnificent Seven is this young brash Mexican sort of young wannabe gunslinger who's of Mexican descent. And there's a sort of similar sort of, they fill sort of a similar role in the two movies, but they're very different characters, and it's actually really interesting seeing that. The difference between the lead of the Seven Samurai, the older sort of samurai who's putting the whole thing together, and Yul Brynner's character in the Magnificent Seven. They're very similar characters, but with some very pointed differences. And it's just lots of stuff like that. And of course, with for the Game Master's seat, there are a lot of plot ideas you can steal. Honestly, the seventh, as an aside, the Seven Samurai makes a great sort of intro adventure for almost any
Yeah,
genre.
yeah.
Like I guess
Bunch of
maybe
disparate heroes banding together to save a village from outside threat X.
like honestly, it might be I think it might be one of the best intro adventures for a fantasy for almost any fantasy role playing game you could come up with. I honestly think it beats if the characters are supposed to be tough adventuring hero types. I'd say it's probably the best way to introduce the characters to each other, as it's a better opening trope than the you all meet in a tavern.
Yeah,
It's a great hook, and it gets the characters to know each other. It gives them sort of a common goal. That I think it's a great one for that. It works for if you want to do of course you want to do a Western themed game. Duh. I've used that premise in multiple feng shui games. The game I ran with the game I ran with you guys on stream, that was the intro adventure. It was the Seven Samurai. Except there were 5 of you, but whatever.
shouldn't ever hit a monk.
And almost all these movies you can mine for plot ideas or for character, as we said, character ideas, plot ideas, scenes. Just like action sequences are great.
Yes.
Like honestly, if you want like a high flying crazy action scene in a game, watch some good Hong Kong action movies and just draw some ideas from those. But I would say that you can pull some cool. There's some good things for like a more sort of criminally themed game or spy themed game. Like Ocean's 11 is a great way to sort of look at how you can put together a team of specialists and they all get their moment to shine.
Yes, absolutely. Ocean's 11 is actually a great. Ocean's 11 is a great introduction adventure for Shadowrun.
Yes, absolutely.
Except the Street Samurai's not going to have a lot to do, but you can throw in some mooks for him to gun down or
Sure.
chop up.
It would work for a lot of different games, honestly.
Yeah.
Although it would work better in more modern settings, just as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah. And not in high fantasy, because then you just solve all your problems with the magic.
Yes, well, duh. It just works. It works best in a modern setting, I think.
Yes.
Or modern to sci-fi. Like actually, in a big sci-fi game, if you got a sort of a somewhat sort of shady underworldy themed group, it'd be a good adventure.
Yeah.
Good way for them to get enough money together to get themselves a ship or what have you.
Knocking over the Shadow Depository. Perfect. That's actually the perfect story to steal for an introduction for Shadowrun. It is friggin' liars, guns, and money from Farscape.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Which, yeah, it's
also a great 3 episodes.
Yeah. If you're running a superhero game, any of the movies we talked about that are superhero themed are just
yeah.
Yoink.
Yeah.
So much stuff to steal from those. And again, as Eric mentioned, you've got with the Winter Soldier, it shows you how you can take one genre and drop another genre into it.
Yes.
It's a war movie that happens to be also a superhero movie. The Winter Soldier is a spy movie that also happens to be a superhero movie. That's also true. The Incredibles.
And that's something Marvel does all the fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah. I just completely lost the thought.
Right.
It fled. I tried to grab hold of it and it slipped between my fingers because it's a terrible, terrible, filthy little thought. Not that kind of filthy. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Right. Okay. Well, we did not get any questions in email this week or on the forums. So I guess since we've run long, as we're wont to do when we start talking about movies or things like this.
Yeah. Holy crap, did we go long?
Yeah, we did. We'll wrap things up here. Next week, we will probably be talking specifically about superhero movies. So we gave you a little tease of some of the things we're going to be talking about next week already this week.
Yes.
And then the week after that, we are either the week after that or maybe the week after that. Let me take a look at October. So next week, we're going to be talking about horror movies at some point during October.
Yes.
Eric is a bigger fan of horror movies than I am, but there are some horror movies I do enjoy.
Yeah.
Although most of mine are not sort of the what most people think of as horror movies. I mean, they're very clearly horror movies, but they're not the first thing you think of.
Nothing wrong with a good existential thriller.
No idea what you're talking about, Eric. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you all had fun. Hope you all learned something, or at least found this entertaining as usual. If you've got questions you'd like us to answer in the show, we try to save time at the end of each episode for viewer questions. If you got them, send them to us at our email address. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com. That's surlygrognards at yahoo.com. Or you can post them on the forums, which you can find at mechagm.forumer.com. If you've got feedback for us, we love getting constructive criticism and ways we can make the show better. Send that to us at either of those two places. And if you've got show topic suggestions, we love having those in the bank. So please send them to us.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome.
And if you I'm tired.
Words.
We record the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/mechagm. If you want to keep an eye out for when the show is going to be going live, in case we need to take a week off, or we're going to record on a different day, or we're changing the schedule up, I'll be tweeting it out on my Twitter account, which is @mechagm. And that's it, I think. If you're listening to this on, If you're listening to this on YouTube, please feel free to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. And I'm in the process of getting all the old episodes up. I know where most of them, the old ones that I don't have uploaded, are. I just have to go through the effort of removing the hard drive from my old computer, which is stored in my closet, and put it in the new computer, and upload it from there. That just means I have to dig stuff out of my closet and then open up computers and unplug stuff, and it's like work and stuff.
Stupid work.
Yeah. Effort. Bah. But I'll be getting stuff uploaded sometime in the next month or so, I'm hoping. I should be getting back to getting more old episodes up online. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back next week with probably with superhero movies, but it is, as our show topic suggestions, as always, are subject to change.
Yes.
Because we're fickle that way. Anyways, guys, be seeing you guys.
Bye, humans.